What are the elements that make up a great school? The rarest element, of course, is results. In Yuma County, Arizona, the average school has about 57% of their students performing at proficient or above. In Arizona as a whole, it's about 65%. But here in Yuma, there's a school doing things a little bit differently, and their results speak for themselves.
Yuma's educational challenges were not a lot different than the entire state or many states in the United States. Students all across the country have been losing motivation to learn. What we became frustrated with is that the system of education that we had really was more system-centric than it was student-centric.
So what happens if you flip that model around? What happens if you design a school from the ground up around the student instead of the bureaucracy?
Our students need a new approach to education. Carpe Diem has that new approach. As you enter Carpe Diem, one of the first things you'll notice is that it doesn't look like other schools.
It's completely different than a normal school.
I would have to say it's very advanced.
The Carpe Diem was very different, but in a good way.
Carpe Diem Collegiate High School is a blended learning school that blends the best of face-to-face instruction, technology, and extended learning opportunities in order to boost student achievement. Kids today are wired in every way. They have their cell phones, their iPods, their iPad, and unfortunately, when they leave school, they power up. When they come back, they power down. So what we wanted to do was leverage that experience, that knowledge, that savviness about technology, and bring it into the classroom to where they would also be excited about using their skills to learn the things that we thought were important for them to learn.
Differences at Carpe Diem are both dramatic and subtle, but everything, from the way they interact with teachers to the way they take attendance, has been designed with the goal of making education a more positive, enriching, and empowering experience for students. At the heart of Carpe Diem is the Learning Center, where students perform most of their work following an individualized online curriculum.
And inside the Learning Center are 300 cubicles that every student is assigned to throughout the entire year.
When they come in, they see a building that's setting them up with high expectations to work. All that leads them to a more professional idea of what education is like in their heads.
Students divide their day between independent work at their computer and hands-on workshops with teachers.
I love working on a computer.
I love computers and I work with them as much as I can, so, it's great.
That computer actually can adapt and prescribes deeper level learning, more enriched learning, as well as more rigor as they move forward. But once they have the concept down from the computer, then they transition into what we call a workshop or a classroom, in which a teacher takes that concept and makes it more relevant by giving them projects, learning activities that help them to understand it in unique ways.
So you get on the computer and you do your work, but then also at the same time you can go to workshops and classes to get extra help.
And classroom time isn't about lectures. It's about interaction and discussion with students in order to provide them with context and critical thinking skills.
I think here we have better teacher-student relationships. The model itself allows for students to use the computer as well as the teacher-student interaction to get the best out of their educational experience.
Teachers then get to do the exciting part of it, and that is make it applicable and relevant to their lives. Nobody learns the same subject area at the same pace or the same abilities. Well, at Carpe Diem, we can customize the course. We can start them anywhere they happen to be and move them along at their pace. We believe that relationships are extremely important here. And so we try to desystematize everything to where we can focus on the kids. Find out what do they need, and if they need it, we try to provide it right here.
Here the teachers know where you're at exactly, so if you have a problem, they'll talk to you about it and they help you with it.
Assessment occurs literally every day, and it's all being aggregated, if you would, into the computer system. The teachers go through the data on a daily basis to see what needs to be changed or modified, who needs additional assistance. And once those students are identified, they can literally go in, talk to the student, find out what the concept was that they had a problem with, and then do some immediate intervention. And maybe it's just a very quick thing that happens, maybe 2 minutes, but the student gets the help they need.
For teachers, The Carpe Diem model means they're able to spend more one-on-one time with individual students. And over the course of a student's education at Carpe Diem, they'll interact with the same teacher for each core concept area every year, which means greater continuity and stronger relationships.
My math teacher, it's been my same math teacher since 6th grade. And over that time, he's learned my disadvantages or advantages, so he knows what I have trouble with or what I don't. So over the years, he's helped me with problems that I've had.
I think that is the most beautiful part about my job, because I get to see every one of them and I get to see the growth. I actually can measure how I'm the one that's giving them that information in 6th grade that they must have in 7th, 8th to build upon to go to high school.
I think when they come in and they see we have high expectations as teachers, they want to excel for us. And when we have these special relationships, they want to work really hard to get the right answers and to do as well as they possibly could.
The teachers get to know the context of the students' lives, get to know their interests, get to know the goals, the careers, their aspirations. Because of that, everything that the teacher does can be related to that student.
If I had to describe the school to someone who never went here, never knew about it, I would describe it as a family. I went through like a rough patch last year, and they didn't just like look at me bad. They actually pulled me in. They're like, "What's wrong, Kara?" And I told them what was wrong, and they're like, "We're gonna fix this." And I just got my act together. I felt like I had responsibility and like I have something to look forward to.
Carpe Diem's mission statement is to educate with knowledge, to empower with character, and to equip for life. One of the things we want to do is to make sure our students are ready with the knowledge they need for the life they're going to live, that they're empowered with the character they need as well as the skills necessary to be successful in the 21st century.
As a school, Carpe Diem probably doesn't look like anything else you've seen before. But in terms of demographics, it's almost identical to a typical public school in Arizona, which makes the accomplishments of these students all the more impressive.
We've led the state in student growth for 2 consecutive years. We also have been consistently in the top 10% in the state when it comes to scale scores. We've been number 1 in our county every year for the last 4 years.
Carpe Diem has been recognized on a national level for its innovative approach and new ideas.
Educational leaders today are looking for several things. They're looking for economy and they're looking for effectiveness. Carpe Diem offers both.
In addition to being more effective than traditional models of education, Carpe Diem is also more affordable, costing just over $5,300 per student per year.
So we can scale this and replicate this around the state and around the country. A good education that leverages whatever a student needs to succeed needs to be available for all students. As you can see, Carpe Diem is working, and now it's your turn to seize the day.
It's your turn.
Now it's your turn. Your turn to seize the day.
Seize the day!
Seize the day!
To learn more about Carpe Diem, visit us at carpediemschools.com and see how you can take part in this education breakthrough.